Yeah, sure thing. Have you made it to Tasmania, Buffy?
Yeah, it was an early start yesterday. A bit of travelling through to Sydney, then down to Launceston, and a bus trip up to Devonport. So it was a good day of travelling yesterday.
Yeah, and the club announced yesterday that Borja has obviously made the trip and is available to play. He's got his work visa. What's the plan for him? Is he likely to see minutes?
We'll try to give him some minutes within the game. He's only been with us for a short time, so we don't expect him to start and play 90 minutes, but we'll try to give him some minutes within the game.
Yeah, how's he settled in and how's he kind of looking?
Yeah, good. He's looking good at the moment. He's doing some extra stuff, obviously trying to catch up to where the boys are currently at, but he's looking good at the moment and he's settled in quite well.
Yeah, and what are you expecting from this game? I guess it's more unique trip in the Australia Cup?
Yeah, look, we're expecting a good opposition, a team that's currently doing very well in their own competition. They're 11 points clear at the top with 5 games to go in their competition. I think they've got some exciting players in their front third. So look, it's going to be a challenging game. They're 16 games into their season and we're at the start of our pre-season. So it's always going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Are there any of those players, you mentioned those attacking players, are there any that stick out that you've earmarked that you're looking to contain?
I think ALeague is one of their players that plays on the left-hand side. That's very tricky on the ball, likes to take players on 1v1. So I think he's one of their most consistent players that plays into the team. But overall, they work well as a team. That's probably why they're in the position that they're in at this stage. So look, like I said, there's no easy games when it comes to these Australia Cup games, and we're expecting a good game tomorrow evening.
And I mean, obviously the Australia Cup gives you opportunities to go to different areas. I think this is the first time you guys have been in Tassie, although you might have been here for an A-League game. I can't quite remember. How's that opportunity to go to new places?
Yeah, it's nice to go to new places and travel a little bit and see different areas. This is our first time, or my first time up here and in Devonport. We were in Launceston a couple of seasons ago to play Western United. So yeah, look, we've been to Tasmania before. It's a beautiful place. It actually reminds me of New Zealand a little bit with all the greenery around and also the freshness of it as well.
You talked about the freshness. I mean, there's a fair chance that there's going to be a bit of wet weather. I know that Devonport are preparing, wet weather and not wet weather. How are you guys going to adjust depending on that?
Well, we've had a lot of rain in Wellington recently, so I think the boys will adjust quite easily.
I've got a couple more. So David Ball hasn't made the trip. Is that correct? What's the deal with his injury?
So at the moment, he still feels it when he runs on his toe. It's sort of like healed, but he still has some sort of like pain in there, and we just want to make sure we manage him well. Look, the cup is important to us, but also the season is very important to us, so we can make sure that we manage him well, and then get him on the park where he's available at some stage for the cup games, and mainly for the season.
Yeah, and just checking, because there's a couple of players that you've signed who were involved in Australia Cup playoff games at the end of last season, but I'm not kind of cup tied or anything like that.
Stephen and Lucas Moragas are both cup tied as they played in those playoff games at the back end of last season, so they won't be available to play in these games. Yeah,
because what do you make of that? I mean, it seems a bit strange that it was last season, Yeah,
I find it's, you can use the word strange, but I find it where if a player is coming off contract, then do they play in these games if they're going to make a move to another club? So it's one of those ones with the timing of it, and I think how the federation fit that in from where the season starts to where the season ends, and where the cup starts and where the cup ends. So yeah, look, it's a strange one. I think that could possibly be changed, or players need to make a decision whether they play in those games or not if they're going to decide to leave the club that they were currently at that time. So if they play in that game, then they're cup tied for the next club that they go to.
Yeah, and Noah is kind of like a new name that you've brought along. What's kind of the reason that you've had him in pre-season, and is he someone who's kind of impressed with the reserve team?
Yeah, look, I have discussions with Chris. He's been working closely with those boys within the competition that they're playing. So, we we needed a few players in that position, and Noah's been very consistent working with Greeny in that role. So we brought him down, and we'll see if he gets an opportunity to get on the park.
Yeah, and how does this compare to the Australia Cup and pre-season? Again, obviously it was a bit different last season, having more games kind of in the season. How does that kind of change your preparations, do you think?
Yeah, look, you're at a different level compared to when we played the Cup last year when it was in season, because we played a few more obviously competitive games within the competition, and then players are a lot fitter and stronger and ready to go. Whereas I don't know if you watched a few of the Cup games that have just been played where players are starting to cramp up. I don't know if you've seen the Sydney Central Coast game when it went to extra time, where players are not 100% ready, and you don't want to be 100% ready when you still got a couple of months leading into the season. So, you know, the difficult part will be us obviously starting our pre-season just recently, and the opposition being at the back end of their season. Yeah,
because given it's still, you know, so early in your pre-season, what sort of teams you want to put out there? And also, I guess with a game against an NPL team, it could also be a chance to give some of the younger, you know, players a crack. Yeah, so what sort of team are you likely to put out?
We'll put out our strongest team, Philip, always. We'll put out our fittest team. The boys have been on the park the most. The Cup is important to us. It gives us competitive games. It gives us something to work towards, and at the back end of it, we come close last year, and you can, you know, it's a competition that you can win a trophy at the end of it.
Yeah, and just finally, because I think you had mentioned last time we spoke that you might be looking to line up another game while you're going to be in Australia. Is that the case?
Yeah, we've organised a game after this game. Once we head back to Sydney, we've organised a friendly game against Central Coast Mariners. So the guys that get less minutes in tomorrow night's game will get an opportunity to get some minutes there.
Okay, cool. That's all the questions I had. So good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's all I had as well. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Have a
Thanks,
good one.
Much appreciate it.
Bye-bye.